Assalamu alaikum. Wouldn't it be great for all of us to be constantly at our best, always achieve and at all times aim for perfection and never get tired with this? Unfortunately, that is just a dream. That is not natural. That is not even humane. Hi, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aisha, CEO of AJS Therapy and an author of the book Islamically Inspired Self-Development, a book which you can get from Amazon across the world. Is globally available, inshallah. So let me talk to you about this perfectionism conquest and what are the side effects of it, the dangers of it if we never let go. Well, what I want to talk about is really the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't intend it for us to be perfect. In fact, He said if you were to be perfect, if you were never to commit mistake, if you were never to sin, I would wipe this planet Earth and replace with people, with a kind, which does commit mistakes and come back to me and humbles themselves and asks for forgiveness and go back to recreating a better version of themselves. So that is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be on the wagon and off the wagon, be on the wagon and off the wagon. But if we don't give ourselves permission and we constantly aim to prove something, it's probably very connected to external validations, isn't it? That's the conquest for majority of us. If we never let go on that, if we never find the place in us when we're just satisfied with our imperfection, we will never rest and we will never accept dunya for what it is. Dunya is highly disappointing, but also dunya is a place for us to train our nerves, to create habits which are going to help us with our adab, will help us with our akhlaq and help us with our future, obviously, but also habits of thinking to ourselves, habits of giving ourselves credits, not something that majority of us is good in. We not really about talking to ourselves with kindness, empathy, and giving ourselves credits, are we? That's not who we are. Not for majority of us, unfortunately, sadly. So I wanted to share with you a secret of how I am working with my stuck in a rut, because that is a phenomenon that actually affects all of us. You know that inner depression and lack of satisfaction and maybe inner dissatisfaction almost is not something that anyone is free from. So the secret that I have is going to, it's not a secret, it's a technique. It's not going to be secret if I'm going to say it, isn't it? But that technique actually helps me, and I hope it's going to help you as well, to get into gratitude, to remember things which I was blessed in terms of achievements, and be in a state of shukr, something that is highly spiritual, but also uplifting, but also humbling, because Islamic psychology and Quran teaches us that anything that we achieve is actually by the will, knowledge, and permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is absolute basic if you think about it from Aqidah, Tawhidic perspective. And we know the story of a Khidr who was such a rich person and so about showing off person, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cracked the earth and swallowed him with his wealth. And the only reason why that happened is because he never allowed himself to admit that all his successes were actually from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So imagine, the aristocracy of the aristocracy being swallowed in front of your eyes by earth. What kind of impact it's going to have on you? Aren't you going to start reflecting? I hope you will. How I get myself into this place of reflection without dramas like this, traumatic experiences like this, is by creating those. What you see in my hands is actually a family album. So each year, I sit down and by the end of the year, I sit down and I collect all my pictures from phone, and I put them here. I put them in a family album, and then when they arrive, I sit down and I watch what happened a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So I have them quite a few, and I'm going to show them to you today, obviously. And the benefit of it is that Some years I know they were less intensive in terms of achievement, and some years they were full of achievements. And this helps me to keep track, and that helps me to remember. Now, you also need to have a technique that's going to help you to remember. You also need a technique that's going to give you a pat in the shoulder, where you're going to be able finally to give yourself a credit and remember what is it that you were thinking, what is it that you were doing, what is it that what is it that you were wearing, eating, who is it that you were going out, who is it that you were socializing with, because that best year of your life, like let's say this best year of my life, and I do know which was the best year of my life so far. And if I look into this album, I know what is it that created that year other than permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not by coincidence. You've been in habits to create that success. And obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed you to be in that habit. But you also were thinking something and also been doing something. Maybe it's about your ibadah, maybe it's about how you've been with people, how you've been with your parents, you know. So think about what was initiating that boost of energy, that positivity, and what is it that influenced that flow of dopamine and serotonin, as psychology would call it today, and what we know in Islamic psychology is ruh. So Rohani, the force within you that maintains your afiyah, needs an injections, needs a nourishment, and needs you to unlock it so you can unlock your highest potential, so you can achieve the best year after the best year after the best year. But that comes with remembering what is it that allowed you to have those great years, those great moments, those great achievements. But because I give you guarantee, if you feel depressed and dissatisfaction with your life, or maybe dissatisfaction with yourself, it is probably because you are not doing what you were doing in those great times or great years of your life. You're not eating, you're not sleeping, you're not socializing, you're not reading, and you're basically not feeding your soul with the ibadah that used to be a case and that used to got you to that point. I hope it helps. And if it does, or even if it doesn't, please allow me to coach you and present to you what Islamic psychology therapy has to offer. I'm offering you 3 days of challenge, 3 hours, 1 hour on Friday, 1 hour on Saturday, and 1 hour on Sunday. A 3 days challenge, full of interactions with me on Zoom group coaching and therapy session, but also aftercare in the Facebook group and private WhatsApp group. So please join and share this message with others if you think that you still need a little bit help in boosting that energy in you, and giving yourself more credits really for what you already achieved. I hope to see you there. The link to join is just underneath this video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It was a pleasure. Don't forget to like this video and share it with others.